Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. And the topic today is, what do you do when your partner neglects you, when you're feeling neglected by your partner? It's a terrible thing to feel. You don't get married, and we use the term partner loosely these days. If you're living together, then you're married for all intents and purposes. So what do you do when you're feeling neglected? It's terrible. It's a horrible feeling. You get married, you move in together, you get with each other so you could be happy, so you have that soul connection, so you could live together and nurture love, nurture your harmony, nurture the devotion you have for each other. And then it starts going the other way. Now, I've seen it all because I used to be a divorce mediator over 20 years ago. I'd see couples who just were so disconnected. And you wonder, how does that happen? Because when you first get together, you're so excited. You want to be with each other. You feel stimulated sexually, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually. Marriage is a very spiritual thing. They don't like to talk about it as spiritual because they're afraid you're going to start talking about God, and God forbid you should talk about God. But what could be more spiritual than love? You can't put it in a jar, you can't weigh it, you can't measure it, but boy, do you know love, right? You've experienced love. And the psychologists like to call it infatuation. They want to downgrade it to infatuation, but it's not. It's overwhelming. It's much bigger than the mind. And this is the point, you might say. In our world, we are taught not to be spiritual. Even if you look up the word love, you're going to find an emotional state. And it's not. It is literally its own thing. There are many people, myself included, who equate love and God. God is love, love is God. It is infinite. It has no boundaries. It's overwhelming. As my old art teacher in 5th grade used to say, Miss Marinaccio would say, it's bigger than the both of us. Love is bigger than all of us. And yet, it's what we crave. Because we're souls. We have to have love. Now I'm talking about what's the opposite of neglect. Right? Love is caring for, responding to, being in tune with. Well, I can assure you that your partner is feeling the same disconnect. So the thing to do is not so complicated. It may be difficult because we're not trained to do it. But the thing to do is take it upon yourself to develop, to nurture your love, nurture your devotion, completely eliminate all those things that get in the way of the heart. Because you want your marriage, you want your relationship to be operating at that highest level of love. You see, as human beings, there are 3 states, you might say, of consciousness. There's more than that. You could break it down. But there's 3 big ones. The first one is primal. Because as a soul, we're in an animal type body. We're not animals. We're not advanced animals. But our body is biological. And it has its needs. And they're very selfish. It's all about survival for the body. You get into a body, you have a body, it's continuously pinging the mind, saying, survive, survive, take care of me, I, me, mine. Now, very few of us live on that plane of consciousness. We blend into the other 2 states. The other state, higher, is the mundane state, where our consciousness is a little bit composed, you might say, by the influence of our awareness of morality, which comes from the soul, which is what we are. And so we modify our behavior, and so we are not psychopaths who just live on that primal level, but we live a mundane life. The vast majority of people live a mundane life. They're born, they do their thing, and they die. No evolution per se, no personal growth. Now, the highest state of consciousness is that of the soul, which is love. The soul is love. It's love, ever-expanding love, ever-new joy, ever-increasing wisdom. That's the soul. That's who you really are. And when you meet your soulmate, that's the level of consciousness with which you want to interact. But we're pulled down, we're influenced. Television, radio, peers, whatever. We're pulled down to disregard love. How ironic is that? We get together for love, then we disregard love. So what do you think is going to happen? So the answer is to start building that. Start tuning in on that level with each other. You take the lead. Don't have any expectations. You take the lead knowing that your partner's feeling neglected too. And you just make it happen. At the same time, be sure not to do anything to undermine that love. Now look, you should be a subscriber to this channel so you could learn more, because our approach is kind of unique. I hate to say it. If you want, you read one of my books, which is very helpful. Maybe Breaking the Cycle or Lessons for a Happy Marriage really help. If you're in serious trouble in your marriage, then you have to take a look at one of the courses that we have at the Marriage Foundation. So that's it. I'm Paul Friedman, here to serve you, as all our counselors are here at the Foundation. And we appreciate you. God bless you. And take care.